Yo, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. My name is TimProVision, and today we are taking a look at the limited time mode Winter Express. That is a returning mode from last year. The Holiday Bash event is back, which is always exciting when we have a new or returning limited time mode and event with some stuff to unlock. Today we are going to go over the event and give you some tips on how to come out on top with ease. There's a few big things when it comes to this mode and some things you might not have thought about. Overall, the Winter Express mode is very simple, but games can go by so fast with some ending in as quick as 4 minutes, and it is very possible for games to get away from you before you even know it. If this is helpful, or if you want to support me, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more Apex Legends content that is always on the way. The first tip and the biggest tip I have to offer you is choosing a legend with the right weaponry. This is extremely crucial. Each day the legend's weaponry will be rotated out, and you will have to take care in which you are picking so you can get the edge on your enemies. Overall, I don't love this because it does force you to play with characters you might not want to play with, but regardless, you want to be picking a legend with close range weapons or medium range weapons. For example, a legend like Pathfinder on this day has a very tough loadout to roll with. The wingman and a turbo take isn't going to fare too well when you're fighting inside the train. However, someone like Wraith with a flatline and RE45 is absolutely great. Most legends aren't going to have a perfect loadout either, so you will be forced to make some compromises in some areas. But overall, this is a very good loadout. The second part of tip number 1 is to be mindful of the grenades the legend is running on that day. I'm unsure if these rotate, but I am expecting that they will. In my opinion, arc stars and thermites are going to be huge. Thermites can prevent enemies from getting on the train and getting a cap or pushing you. Arc stars are good for the opposite, putting them into the cap cars to stun enemies or force them off the objective. All in all, keep in mind the type of loadout that a legend has on the day, and make sure you are choosing weapons that are going to help you in the close range to mid-range engagements. The only time I would choose a long-range weapon is if you're trying to coordinate with a squad where maybe 2 of your teammates are going to run into the objective and you would be the third providing cover or range support. I don't really recommend this though, because if they die, then more than likely you will not be able to get to the objective fast enough to either kill the enemies or stop the capture. So just keep this in mind if you are going to run a longer range loadout. My second tip is to be choosing a legend with territorial controls and abilities. This would be something like Watson, Caustic, Rampart, even Gibraltar with his dome shield, or Revenant with his tactical ability. In my opinion, and this might be the first for me, but I would highly recommend Rampart, as her barriers can virtually shut down any enemy from entering the car at the front of the train. This car only has 3 doors, and Rampart can block off them completely. My second favorite legend is Caustic, and honestly, he is a complete beast at this mode. The ability to gas off enemies in doorways in the cars is just crazy. Combine this with the fact that he has a killer ultimate for pushing out enemies. Caustic is literally just a crazy beast for this mode. My third and final recommendation for a legend is Gibraltar. His gun shield makes close range engagements challenging for enemies, and his dome shield does give some territorial control. His ultimate isn't quite as good as Caustic's, but it can still be really good for catching enemies off guard or teammates or enemies that are fighting on top of a car. Still, the weapons that the legend has should be the main driving force in who you are choosing. But because there are a few territorial control legends that we can pick from, you should be choosing at minimum one of these legends that also has a good weapon loadout. The third tip I have to offer is to be mindful of the healing items. The time it takes to use healing items has been cut in half during this mode. Shield cells can be activated in nearly a second, which means you can very quickly heal up shields or health to get back in the fight with more health than your enemy might be thinking that you have. This might be the most underrated or hidden tip I can provide that literally everyone has access to. It's so crazy how fast you can get 100 shields back. It's honestly pretty much insane. I really don't understand why it's like this. I mean, I guess they want the action to be fast-paced and they want to have the fights be a little bit longer. But regardless, this is just something to completely keep in mind. You can heal very fast in this mode. Tip number 4 is all about where to land when trying to assault the ship from air. In my eyes, the previous round winners have a clear advantage of already being on a car. This means they or you, if you are the winner, have the chance of setting up barriers, traps, and to be ready for an assault, or just to hide in one of the cars while the new teams are starting to enter and starting to fight each other. It is in my recommendation to land at the rear or front cars. You want to stay out of the middle of the open car. I think it is just a kill zone where you will be not lasting too long. Not only could the team be split between the front and rear cars, causing them to pinch you, but the third team that is entering could also easily end you if you are in this middle car. My second preferred landing spot is to land just a few meters away from the cars on the side of a hill or on the roof, depending on where the car is stationed. This means you can analyze where the enemies are fighting before you enter the battle accordingly. Just just be mindful of your surroundings in this mode. It can be very hectic when the teams are flying in, trying to just get on the car and get that cap as quick as possible. Also, try to gauge what your enemies are doing. Are they going to want to go for a quick win? This probably means they're landing on the cars themselves often. Or if they're trying to play a little bit more passive or strategically, try to just figure out what they're doing as soon as you can, because these games, like I said earlier, do fly by quite quickly. My final tip, and tip number 5, is to stick with your teammates. People don't get knocked, which means ending them as fast as possible is really important so they can't heal up quickly, like we discussed earlier. If you and your team are traveling as a pack team shooting, you can make very quick work of enemy teams, ending them before they realize what has even happened to them. On top of this, you can also provide your teammates with cover, which allows them to get some time to heal off. Say the enemies are trying to push in because you're landing on the car. If you are both there working together, you might be able to stop that push, which gives your teammates a second to heal up, which we said heals are really quick. This is pretty typical for all of Apex Legends. Just be working with your teammates. It will help you out a ton, especially in this mode, since things go by so fast. And there you have it. There is 5 tips to help you succeed at Winter Express in Apex Legends Season 7. I hope you have a good time in this mode. Overall, I think this mode is a solid one. There's a lot worse modes out there for the limited time events. I think this one is a good one, and I'm glad it came back with a few changes. I do kind of like the rotating floating skyships that you can drop off of. I think this is a good addition. On top of that, I do overall think that this mode does kind of have a good flow, and I do really like that the games can go quite quickly. This means you can kind of just keep getting into those games really quickly. I am a little bit disappointed that the challenges don't really work in this. I kind of wish they did. I feel it's almost like a little bit of a waste if I'm not playing every day. Say I just want to hop on and play this limited time mode for an hour. The fact that I'm not getting any progress towards any of my challenges, my weekly challenges or my daily challenges, does hurt a little bit. I do understand, of course, you know, it's kind of easy to farm challenges in this type of environment. However, for those of us that aren't playing every day, like probably many of us are not, this would be a nice thing to add. Maybe they add some more challenges, that kind of thing. Who knows? I hope this guide was helpful, and if it was, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. If there are any more questions, don't be afraid to stop by one of my Twitch streams. We stream almost daily at 8 p.m. Eastern, or you can join the community Discord. Links are all down below. I pretty much will answer any question at any time. Of course, you can drop a comment down there also if you have any questions. I pretty much answer all my comments. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I really do hope this video was helpful. Till next time, peace out.